Hello and welcome to Learn with Skyler. Welcome to my series Building and Modifying a Bootstrap 4 website with a PHP framework. This is the second video in my series. In this video, I'm going to be putting in a non-functional navbar and then a jumbotron, and then after that we're going to bring our page to life with some CSS. So as you can see here, I'm adding a div with the class of container flex. Now what that does, it tells that div to span the whole page. Then I'm going to go ahead and start my navbar. I'm going to put in a unordered list with the class of Navi. Then I'm going to put in some list items with the class of NavLi. And then I'm going to put the anchor tags in between them with the class of NavA. And then you can see here I'm going to go ahead and cut it. I like to cut it just to make sure it's in the clipboard. And then I'm going to go ahead and paste them back in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. Now the last two, I'm going to change the class on to NavLi, and I'm going to give them an ID of FLT-RT. And the reason I'm doing this is because I want to go ahead and float those last two to the right. I know I can do it through the class, but I prefer to do it through the ID in this case. I'm also going to add the ID into the anchor tags. And then after this, I'm going to go ahead and set up my register.php. In the href of the second to the last one, I'm going to set the link to register. And then here I'm going to set up the login. And you can see on this one, I'm going to put the href on this one to actually lowercase login with a capital M and then the word modal. And then I'm going to put a data dash toggle tag equal to modal. And this is for our login modal that we'll do in a later tutorial. Now I'm going to go through, I'm going to finish my about. I'm going to go ahead and delete the header works tag. And then we're going to look at it, and you can see you have something that looks like a navigation bar. Well, a bunch of links rather. Next thing we're going to do is go to our index.php file. Don't forget to save the header, and then we're going to add a div with the class of container. Now container does not span the whole page, whereas container-flex does. This is a feature of Bootstrap 4. Then we're going to add in the div with the class of jumbotron. Then we're going to add in an h1 with our website name. And then another h1 that just says under construction. Now we're going to look at it, and you can see there's something that might be a jumbotron there. So now we're going to go ahead and open our style.css file. And then we're going to go ahead and just put the word body, open the brackets, and just change the background color to black. We're going to take a look at it, and now you can see the jumbotron. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to start working on our navbar. We're going to put our Navi class in there, open the brackets, and we're going to change the list style type to none. Now as you can see, this goes and just unstyles the list. Next thing we're going to do is set our margin to 0. And then we're going to set our padding to 0. Now setting the padding to 0, it's going to move them all the way over. It takes all the padding out of the words. Now we're going to set our overflow to hidden, and what this does, it controls what happens when the content's too big to fit into an area. Now with the hidden, the overflow is clipped and the rest of the content will be invisible. And we change our background color to gray. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to work on our nav list. And we're going to float these left. And we're going to give them a border of 1px solid white. And that's what it did. Now the next thing we're going to do is format nav LIRI. We're going to give it a border right of none. Of none. And then we're going to give it a border left of 1px solid white. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to style our list item links. We're going to give them a display of block. We're going to color them white. We're going to align the text to the center. Then we're going to give them a padding of 1 EM by 1 EM. So the left and right is going to be 1 EM and the top and bottom is going to be 1 EM. And then we're just going to change the text decoration to none. So when you go up there and hover over it, it doesn't change colors. It doesn't put the lines underneath them. Then we're going to go ahead and we're going to cut it and paste it. And we're going to change it to nav LIRI. We're going to leave it the same. Now it looks funky. That's just not right. Now what do we need to do? We need to go ahead and put in our ID tag of FLT-RT. And when we do this, we're going to float them right. Oh, now it looks good. And the last thing we're going to do is go ahead and style our Jumbotron. We're just going to give it a margin top of 0.2 EM just so we can pull it out of the navbar's ass. Then we're going to give it a background color of gray just so we can tell it apart from the body. And then we're going to align the text to the center just so it looks good. And there you can see it. Now here I realized I screwed up. I need to change the border on the nav LI to a border dash right. And that takes the top, bottom, and left borders away. And then I just want to go ahead and switch my register and login links because I'm OCD and I think it looks better that way. Take a look at it. So that's it for tutorial 2. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and check us out on our website www.learnwithskyler.com.